Well, thanks everyone for joining this session. We're going to be reviewing 3 more features available in Marketing Cloud in this session. Let me see if I can move through these slides here. So the 3 features we're going to be talking about today are engagement frequency, messaging insights, and engagement scoring. And just like with the last session, if you were here for that one or if you weren't, please sign in to Marketing Cloud and follow along in your business unit as we go through these. There'll be opportunities for participation throughout the session. And just as a reminder, you can find Einstein-related wikis by going to the Need Help Start Here page on the eComm website and navigate to Marketing Cloud and then Einstein. So let me switch my screen, get into Marketing Cloud here. All right. So we're going to start off with looking at Einstein engagement frequency. And just as a reminder, you can navigate to the various Einstein features by hovering over this little Einstein guy and then selecting the relevant feature. And a note for all the features we're going to be talking about today, the insights are relevant to the business unit you're looking at, but don't take into consideration data from other business units. So for example, with engagement frequency, the data is aggregated at the business unit level, so it's not a complete picture of saturation, as contacts will likely receive emails from other business units. So this is the engagement frequency dashboard. Einstein analyzes email send and engagement data from the last 90 days to decide on the optimal number of emails to send to your contacts. And the primary intended use for this feature is the frequency split activity in Journey Builder. So this is really a feature that is mostly used with Journey Builder. The frequency split activity is designed for marketers to send the optimal number of emails to subscribers in their business unit in order to increase engagement and reduce email fatigue. So with this feature, the data input is subscribers' engagement with email messages sent from a single business unit within the past 90 days. And then the output is a personalized ideal send frequency, or the number of emails someone should receive on a subscriber level and an overall business unit level ideal frequency. So as you can see here with this, how saturated are contacts in the business unit, this is a high level view of all contacts in the business unit, but just remember that this data is aggregated at the business unit level, so it's not a complete picture of saturation for contacts. As I mentioned, a better use case would be to use a frequency split activity within Journey Builder to determine how many emails a contact should receive for optimal engagement. And this could be especially useful for things like giving campaigns, determining how many emails a contact should receive in order for optimal engagement. And a couple of constraints to mention here: a minimum of 10 subscribers and a minimum of 5 frequencies over a 28-day period is required to model for engagement frequency. So in other words, the audience in your business unit must receive at least 5 emails over a 28-day period in order to model for engagement frequency. And yeah, this is the dashboard here. You can see some insights. And again, this is kind of take these with a grain of salt because it's at the business unit level. So these contacts are likely receiving other emails from other business units. So this is just the saturation in this business unit, but you can see kind of high level insights for the contacts in this business unit. So for the participation for this feature, look in your business unit and you can put it in the chat or come off of mute and let us know what the saturation is looking like in your business unit at a high level. Are contacts mostly on target? Do you have some that are saturated, some that are undersaturated? And if you have any questions about this feature, you can ask those now too.
And Lauren, I'd be curious from you, if we're not sending 5 emails to our audience within a 28-day time frame, it's safe to say we're not oversaturating them.
Yeah, I would say then on that aspect, it could be maybe undersaturated. It really just depends on the engagement of those contacts. If some need, 5 emails in order to have optimal engagement rates versus 2 might be the optimal amount.
Well, thanks for sharing, Jaron. Some opportunity with that undersaturated chunk, 28%.
All right, well, if people don't have any questions on this one, I can move on to Einstein engagement scoring, and we can have time at the end of this as well to ask any questions that might come up. Okay, so navigate to, if you're following along, to Einstein engagement scoring. And this feature generates predictive models that assign scores for every contact's likelihood to engage with emails. It aggregates constituent data in this dashboard that provides audience level insights and groups subscribers into personas based on predicted email engagement. So open and click rates, with open being weighted lower than click rates. And you can see the 4 different personas outlined here: dormant, window shopper, selective subscriber, and loyalist. And just one thing to mention here, these personas and the criteria for how people are bucketed into them are set by Einstein. So we're not able to personalize these personas or what makes up a loyalist, selective subscriber, etc. The data input here is emails sent from your business unit and your subscribers' engagement with those messages. And the data output is the likelihood to open, click, and unsubscribe. So you can see in these different widgets here, each child displays an activity prediction, so the average likelihood for each engagement metric over the next 7 days. So if you look here at email click prediction, the average likelihood to click is 1.11% over the next 7 days. And then you'll also see change versus last week. So this is the change in average prediction week over week. There's an audience health indicator, and this is an assessment of audience health for each engagement metric benchmarked against email industry standards. So here you can see the audience health is excellent for email click prediction. And then there's also model confidence indicator down here where you see these 3 dots. And this is relative predictive strength of your subscriber engagement scores. So that's on a scale of 1 dot to 5 dots. So a use case here, you could use the scoring split activity in a journey to segment constituents into paths according to the pre-built Einstein personas, allowing you to customize the journey based on the personas in order to increase engagement. So just customizing the paths that you send people down based on their engagement scores. A constraint to mention here, a minimum of 1 email send from a business unit is required for a contact to have engagement prediction scores. And like with the other widgets and other features, when you click on view details, you can see more information about the top factors influencing that variable. It'll give you more information and then give you the positive, neutral, or negative correlation to the impact. And like with the others, the number of dots indicates the level of impact. So look in your business unit and put in the chat, or if you want to talk, you can, and let us know in looking at your dashboard, what's the average likelihood to click in the next 7 days in your business unit. And as I mentioned, that's located in the email click prediction widget here. And again, if you have any questions about this feature, you can ask those now too. Whoa, 6.1, that's good.
This range is so curious to see, because I know we anytime talk about how to be strategic with our communications. I know I even roll my eyes when I say it depends. But
Yeah.
that's really what it comes down to, is each of our business units and the audiences that we're communicating with are all so unique, and the messages you're sending are so unique, and your ability to respond to this data and maybe provide more or less, or maybe saturate your audience more or less, all takes resources on your end. So nice to have this open discussion about it, and start of many more to come, I'm sure.
And I forgot to mention, I know we talked about it last time, but these little information circles next to each metric, if you hover over it, you can see more information about what's being measured. And there's also this little warning sign next to open prediction, just mentioning that the results with open rates could be skewed depending on some mail clients' privacy settings. So for example, I know that Apple counts emails as open sometimes when they're not actually open. So just taking that into consideration when you're looking at this prediction. All right, well, we will move on then to Einstein Messaging Insights. And this one is a little tricky because it will only show up in your business unit if you have a notification, or also known as an anomaly. So this feature gives guidance on marketing performance based on observed anomalies, and you'll receive alerts in your marketing cloud account via this little notification badge up here, the little Einstein guy. If you have an anomaly, a number will show up, a red number will show up here, indicating the number of anomalies that you're seeing in your business unit. So I clicked around in some business units to try to find an example I could show you, and I didn't see any. But when you do have one, it will show up here, and I'll show you some screenshots of one in a second. But you'd click on this little guy, and the notifications would show up here, and then from there you can click on each individual one, and it'll take you to the Messaging Insights dashboard where you'll see more information. So the variables that Einstein measures here to provide insights include open rate, click rate, and unsubscribe rate. And for one-off email sends, Einstein uses a group of similar sends from within the last 90 days to calculate the average performance of a variable. And then for journey sends, Einstein uses up to 90 days of performance data to measure the rolling average performance of a variable. So a rolling average for open rate, click rate, and unsubscribe rate to determine if what's being seen is an anomaly or outside of the range. And then the data output includes notifications when email open, click, or unsubscribe rate anomalies are detected. And then for one-off email sends, you'll also see top contributing factors. And the top contributing factors are insights that are only available for one-off sends, not for journey sends. So I'll go over to the wiki for this so you can see what it would look like. So these are some notifications once I click on the little Einstein guy, and then you can click in each one of these to see more information. So these are all journey anomalies that you're seeing here. And you can also navigate directly to the Messaging Insights dashboard, just like you do with all the other Einstein features. So if you click on a notification, don't end up clicking immediately in here. You can also navigate to the Messaging Insights to see all of those over there. So here's a journey insight example of once you click on, I know this is tiny. Let's see if I can zoom in on it a bit. Once you click on the notification, or if you just navigate into the Messaging Insights dashboard, you can click on each individual notification, and you'll see some additional information here. And so here we're seeing the UCCS birthday journey, and this is saying that the open rate for this, and it's a one email journey. So the open rate was 37% higher than expected or what had been seen in the past. And since it's a one email journey, the only influence, it's listing the email, and there's only one email in the journey. So that's of course 5 influence, because it's the only thing that could be influencing it. So that's what it will look like for a journey. And then for an individual email insight example, here you'll see the open rate was lower than expected, and it'll provide some insights on top contributing factors that could have impacted what you're seeing. And like I said, these top contributing factors are only available for single email sends, not for journey emails. So here you can see, just as an example, this is saying that more subscribers opened the email on Saturday than any other day, and the email was sent on a Friday. So you could, from here, maybe think about, oh, maybe next time for this type of email, I'll test sending it on a Saturday instead of on a Friday, since most people opened it on a Saturday, and see if that increases the open rate. So yeah, for the use cases, if you get an anomaly that's a specific message had high or low engagement, looking at the top contributing factors and making adjustments to future communications based on that and seeing if it has a positive impact. And a couple of constraints to mention here: a minimum of 10 emails sent from the business unit is required in order to model for email insights, and a minimum of 7 days of history for the journey in the business unit is required to model for journey and journey activity insights. So like I said, you might not, and again, if there aren't anomalies being higher than expected or lower than expected, you might also not see any in your business unit right now. So it could be not enough data has been gathered yet, or it could just be you don't have any anomalies at this time. But go ahead and look in your business unit and see if you do have any notifications. And you can also navigate to the messaging insights by going to that drop down, and let us know in the chat if you're seeing anything in your business unit. And I know I had a hard time. I couldn't find any that had an anomaly to show right now. So you might not be seeing anything. Looks like most people aren't seeing anything yet, which isn't a bad thing. It might just be, like I said, not enough data, or you just don't have any anomalies right now. Monica, I haven't seen any email notifications when I've had anomalies. I just see them show up with the little Einstein guy. All right, well, those are the 3 features. Does anyone have any questions? We have some time if anyone has questions, and if not, then we can give you some time back.
I just have a quick question. If you have any information to shed light on the web conversion prediction area.
Let's see what that one is. Yeah, Claire, I don't know if you have any insight in this one. I don't think that it looks like this relates to people converting from the website as far as making a purchase or downloading content. But I don't know if you have anything else to share on that, Claire.
Yeah, we don't have that one turned down in our business units, just because we don't have our different campus websites hooked into Marketing Cloud.
Would you mind talking through like a use case on not this one, but the saturation? tool?
Yeah, let me go back to that one.
Like how might we, like, is it a list adjustment that we change? Do we adjust things into like more of like a journey? Like,
Yeah, so
trying to
the
think, how do I apply that information to an actual send?
Yeah, so this one, this feature isn't for individual sends. Um, its primary use is for, you're talking about frequency, right?
Yes.
Yeah, its primary use is for Journey Builder, to add in a frequency split activity in Journey Builder. So let's say you were doing, one of the examples from the use cases was a giving campaign. You could add in a frequency split and send people down different paths in the journey based on where they fall in saturation. So like if with saturated people, you might want to send them one
Less.
email.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then undersaturated, you might need to send them 2 or 3 in order to get them to engage with the campaign that you're running. So yeah, it's not used for individual sends. Its primary use is intended for the journey builder sends.
Okay, so then the journey would be like, okay, these unsaturated folks, we'll kick them 3. Oversaturated, we'll kick them 1. And then so it just kind of self-adjusts within the journey.
Yeah, yeah. So it
Okay.
would be, how we use, you can have different ways to split people in a journey. Like let's say they clicked on this button, they go this way, this button, they go this way. This would just be an activity split based on their Einstein engagement frequency.
Okay.
But are we able to identify who is undersaturated or saturated by individually?
As far as I know, no. Also because this is going to be changing, I'm trying to remember, I think weekly, this data gets updated. And again, since it's not to sending individual emails, I don't think that you're able to, download a list or something to see that. And because this is just for contacts in this business unit. So let's say these people are showing up undersaturated here. They could be saturated or on target in other business units that they're receiving emails from. I don't know, Claire, if you have anything else you want to add there.
No, that's a good question. I could do some more research on that. I'm not 100% sure. To your point, I don't think that it's possible given that it's kind of a aggregate view, but I can confirm.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions?
I guess I'm curious about average data in this case, as far as best practices are concerned. I mean, I appreciate them saying, that rating us is excellent and that we're on target, but do we know from a best practice standpoint, what are some good percentages to aim for as far as these different audiences?
As far as
Saturated, on target, yeah, undersaturated.
we can look into that. I don't know that, I mean, I guess the best practice would be that people are on target. But as far as what's an acceptable amount to have being saturated and undersaturated, I think could be subjective, but we can see if we have any guidance on best practices there.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same for the click rates and the open rates as well. I remember seeing some earlier data on national statistics, but it would be nice to have a goal in mind to aim for to improve email sends.
Yeah, and as Mel kind of mentioned before with click rates and open rates, it varies so much by audience. So sometimes a more helpful thing might be to see what's the average for what you see in your business unit and for your audiences, and kind of benchmark it off of there. Because looking at one group of alumni versus a totally different group of alumni, one might be a more engaged group versus the other. So it would be kind of hard to blanket it as saying that this is a good open rate versus a bad one. So yeah, looking at probably what's average in your business unit and benchmarking off of that, but we can also look and see if there's just any best practice, how to look at those type of benchmarks. All right, well, we are almost at time here, so if there aren't any other questions, thanks so much for joining today, and we'll be hosting another session in January that will focus on using dynamic content in emails. So be on the lookout for an invite for that. And again, if you have any questions about Einstein, check out those wikis, and also feel free to reach out. Thanks so much for joining.